So San Francisco is pretty far gone at this point. I mean, people riding the bus, seeing people straight up shoot drugs and fentanyl just outside the bus station in a pretty populated area. I mean, look at this, bro. Like, does this look like a city you want to be in? This is so chaotic. It's like more homeless people. There's like more drugs, more crime than office workers walking around. San Francisco is so screwed up at this point. Now, we're going to be talking about a company today called Airbnb. I'm pretty sure you guys know about it. Now, okay, we're not going to talk about Airbnb rentals today because we already know that they're down a lot. But we're going to be talking about the company itself because Airbnb is thinking about straight up leaving San Francisco. Now, these guys were one of San Francisco's darlings because they were like the original companies that started in San Francisco. You know, the CEO himself actually rented one of his San Francisco rooms out, and that's how Airbnb started. So the story is actually pretty cool and how they grew themselves in the city. But no matter how much loyalty you have for the city, it gets kind of annoying when every single day when you go to work, you see like crazy pictures, crazy high crime, people doing drugs. I mean, all I did was just type in San Francisco bus. We got some of the craziest and most vile videos I have ever seen. Now, San Francisco is definitely not a place that you want to be. And by the way, a lot of these buses, a lot of these transit stations are completely empty, right? It's just getting worse and worse every single day. I mean, there's tents everywhere, right? And you got business owners just protesting. I mean, they're not getting any business, right? Meta has cut offices, Slack has left, Salesforce has cut a lot of workers, and now Airbnb is thinking about leaving because Airbnb employers, okay, they're like, okay, you can work online. And the workers are like, I absolutely love it. Because Airbnb lets their workers live and work anywhere they want. Now, we already have people who work at Airbnb literally live on a boat and living their dream. I think nowadays, young people, they think very differently, right? They actually value freedom a lot more. And we're seeing a lot of young college grads opting in for remote work and then move anywhere they want in the world and pretty much have half a vacation and half work. And I'm sure Airbnb pays well to their tech employees and also software engineers. So we're seeing this, and a lot of these young people love it. Because if you're living on the boat, if you're living on a beach, if you're living in the Bahamas and you're working online, why in the world would you be paying $3,000 for a box in the middle of San Francisco when it looks like this, right? I mean, you got to be pretty crazy to go from beach life to, street condition life that's worse than a third world country. And San Francisco is deteriorating every single day here, and it's just getting worse. So you have Airbnb, they're going to be leaving. And they already shut down several other office buildings around 888 Brandon Street, which is here. This building right here, which is currently the headquarters of Airbnb. But remember, they have several other offices around it, which they recently closed. And this potential move is pretty much to consolidate all of its other buildings into one single building. Now, you may be wondering, why would they do that? Well, it pretty much shows you that this whole entire area is practically dead. Now, if you check out the Google Street View, this is actually a fairly nice place. Okay, at least there's no tents and stuff. There's some pizzerias, there's some food, there's a lot of tech employees. This is actually a pretty nice place, but not for long. I kind of see why they're shutting down other places and moving in here because this is one of the few places where it's kind of free from the tents and the craziness of San Francisco, but I don't know how long that's going to last, right? And then you also have people asking Airbnb, where are you moving to? They don't know, but they are shopping for a massive place. Remember, Airbnb has listed more than 600,000 square feet surrounding their main headquarters for sublease. Okay, CBRE is helping the tech firm hunt for new offices, and a lot of people are saying that San Francisco is so bad that even Airbnb may be considering of moving out. Now, this is pretty bad for San Francisco because they already have a lot of these big employers moving out. Remember, San Francisco makes a lot of their money from commercial real estate, which really makes you wonder, okay, if they make this much money from commercial real estate, why not clean up the streets and incentivize some of like the tech workers to live in San Francisco and to come back to San Francisco? Yeah, I know that sounds like a pretty easy solution, but for San Francisco, for some odd reason, it's difficult for them just to be rational. I mean, it really doesn't make sense when business owners call you to clean up the streets because they can't open their stores because there's homeless people in tents outside. And then when Elon Musk puts an X on a building, you launch one of the biggest police investigations of the year. It shows you the city is doomed. Okay, they do not have their priorities straight at all. And this is why San Francisco is truly deteriorating at a speed that I haven't seen before. In fact, it's so bad. San Francisco is such a bad place to be that even Chinese tourists are no longer going to the city. Chinese tourists every summer have fat stacks of cash to spend outside their country. Okay, they're very rich, they're very wealthy, and they were actually San Francisco's top international market with 500,000 visitors spending $1.2 billion a year. And you may be wondering where they're at right now, or they're at Venice, they're at Rome, they're at Tokyo, okay, they're in Thailand, they're vacationing in other places. They're not dumb. They're pretty smart. And why? Well, the street conditions are so bad that even the Chinese media is talking about how bad and disgusting San Francisco is. And compared to China's Bay Area in Shenzhen, it looks totally different. And I feel ashamed to see San Francisco deteriorate at this sort of speed. And hopefully they fix themselves, but probably not. So Airbnb is going to be leaving, guys. They already have 600,000 square feet of office space trying to sublease out. And of course, they're not going to get a tenant. There is no way they're ever getting a tenant for that 600,000 square feet because Uber is still, to this day, after almost half a year, trying to sublease out their 250,000 square feet of office space. Nobody wants this office space. And I'm sure you guys have heard of stories like, oh, what about those AI companies moving in? They're providing more employees. Yeah, like 2,000 employees go to San Francisco and like 50,000 go out. San Francisco already lost 150,000 office workers, almost 200,000 at this point. And if you look at the BARTs, which is like their transportation system, it's more empty than ever before. Like at first I thought, okay, maybe at least some people are still going to San Francisco in these trains, but even the trains are super empty. Now, people said that before the pandemic, BART was so packed they can't even find a spot. Now BART's is so empty, you could pretty much be the only one on one of the trains. And that's kind of freaky, right? And then you stop to like Montgomery Station, for example, and like the train station is like completely empty. Like there's no one there. There's barely anyone on rush hour. I could show you some Twitter videos in a separate video, but you get the idea. I mean, this city is so screwed at this point. Even like the Salesforce Transit Center is also empty. Iconic San Francisco towers are empty. The Trans-American Bay building, which is that really iconic pyramid one, yeah, that one's completely screwed too, with them trying to renovate the whole thing, having a penthouse sky bar to get new tenants. I don't really think that's going to be working anytime soon. So let's see what happened to San Francisco, guys. Okay, Airbnb, one of the most loyal guys in the city, is already kind of sick and tired of it. And they're already moving workers online. And workers don't want to come back. Okay, workers that do come back to San Francisco complain all day about how terrible the streets are. Okay, the working conditions obviously are pretty long for tech. I guess pretty short for some people, but you get the idea. You know, a lot of employers, a lot of employees, they all say the same thing. They all kind of want to not be in San Francisco. I'd rather be working online on a boat, you know, or on a beach than be in San Francisco, which is pretty bad. And it's still very expensive for some odd reason. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.